Yeah.
So, Nidhi, this interaction is going to be viewed by a lot of young marketers, right? People who are
Mm-hmm.
wanting to learn the ropes of marketing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what I wanted to check with you um, is if you can share some of the marketing problems that you're solving for your customers, right? I mean, you may not name the customers, but if you
Mm-hmm.
can share with us some problems that you're solving for them, I think it'll be very inspirational for the people
Yeah.
who would look at this video and listen to the video.
Sure. I think what the way I've seen with whatever limited life that I've lived as a marketer is that there's still a gap between thinking at again saying that thinking at a very task level, then
Mm,
considering marketing as a very contributing function for the whole, let's say, for the whole year, right? Like for sales, we set up a whole vision and a goal and a number that we then try to achieve. For marketing,
mm,
also, if we very holistically look at it, that how this function will help me overall in the whole year, what is it that it strategically it can do. So I would want that every CMO should be sitting at that conversation at the start of the year, right? And being part of that entire business movement that you're, or that shift that you're going to do in that year, whether it's a new product launch, whether it's about, let's say, even achieving a number, then how do we do it, what communication we put out in the market and all, rather than thinking that, okay, this is my medium and this is something that I'll do this week or this month, and what is the ROI back out of that. So not
mm,
thinking in pockets, and we're thinking very, very large scale, and then giving that due attention and importance and resources to the function. So I think even when I interact with a lot of college students, or interact with the younger generation, what I see is that the queries that they have, or maybe the kind of
mm,
thought process they have, is very educationally pocketed, in terms of the skills, that they think
mm,
like digital marketer might be somebody who's like a carrying a magic wand or will do something magical. It doesn't happen that way unless marketing is aligned at a very business level, both externally and internally. You might be
mm,
doing 10 things, but the world is moving in another direction, right? So I think that's what I would really want to do as a marketer, and I would want every marketer to do. Many of my good peers are doing that, and we have many brands to talk about like that. But I think
mm,
that's where I see a lot of gap. That still it's considered more of a very skill function. We are still
mm,
talking about post. We still talk about just campaign, but we don't
mm,
talk about the contribution to the business.
Return on investment, as you said.
Yeah, like yeah, and that could
Well,
be
that's the big
strategic as
question.
well, right?
That's a big question, isn't it? The business heads keep on pushing the marketers for the return for all the investments that the business is making into marketing,
Yes,
right?
yes, but it's a long-term function. I mean, there might be some ROIs which can come to you overnight. Let's say if you're just chasing, let's say, followers or maybe
Mm,
impressions, but there are some ROIs which will be long-lasting, which only marketing
mm,
can bring, right? It's not a sales-driven function. It's a sales enablement function. I always
mm,
say
mm,
that, we enable sales. If
mm,
you're trying to drive your marketing only to do sales, then you're missing a very powerful part of it, which is, brand establishment, that loyalty, that authority in the market. So I think it should not be considered as the driver to sales. It's an enabler as much as we
mm,
can.
mm,
So that due, I think, consideration as a function should be given to that, and
mm,
I think that's what the new generation who's coming in should really think of. That, for example, they're going to any particular brand, they should really be well versed with that. What this brand would really want to stand for. What is it that the marketing is looking and expecting from a brand like that, or that product or
mm,
service, and what is it that I can contribute as a marketer, rather than just
mm,
pocketing themselves
mm,
in a that I'm a digital marketer, I will do this, I'll do an SEO, or I will just create this post. Just try to
mm.
think beyond your specific skill and just
Correct,
think as a whole, as a function.
correct, correct.
Because you will eventually saturate in that. I mean, how long will you, even if you're a designer, you will at one day become a creative director. And at that
Mm.
time, you will have to think beyond something, limited to that particular part of the day to day role.
True, absolutely true.